3, 2, what?
Welcome to the Zoa Morning Show. Listen, if you're watching this, you are catching a pre-recorded version of the Zoa Morning Show. The reason why it's pre-recorded is because we've been having technical difficulty.
Yes.
The internet got turned into the Finanet. And there have been all types of power outages all over Los Angeles. There was a power outage in my neck of the woods. Listen, let me tell you something. We're recording this show. So after we're done recording this show, we're going to put it up so you can see, the production that I have in place. Man, oh man, a Shevitz. So much was going on over the weekend. Start with the superficial stuff.
Yeah.
The Roots.
Oh, the Roots picnic at the Hollywood
The Roots
Bowl.
picnic at the Hollywood Bowl. All these different artists come out. Hollywood Bowl, they do it every year. It was fly.
Yeah.
But when you consider everything that was happening in LA over the weekend.
It wasn't time for no picnic.
Listen, it's crazy because I've been in other cities. The closest thing to the cluster fuckery of it all is New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
LA resembled New York last night or over the weekend.
Yeah.
Just so many things happening in so many different areas. But then on top of that, before we even get into all of that,
Sinkholes on Slauson.
Sinkholes on Slauson.
Yeah.
Listen, my little neighborhood is, little enclave, it's over there. It took an hour to get out of my neighborhood because there was a sinkhole literally a block from my house.
On Slauson.
I said, what the?
Yeah.
That's never happened. All the lights are out because of the sinkhole. And then we don't see what's coming later on that night, which caused a traffic jam. It was nuts.
What happened?
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yo, the Zoa Morning Show. We're recording it live. Sarah is here. Listen, I was in Bel Air when I was talking to you. I said, hey, I'm on the 405. I'm going to Bel Air. I had a whole little situation in Bel Air. Do you know it took 2 hours to get back?
From Bel Air? Now, if you was in Houston, you could have been all the way to San Antonio.
It took 2 hours. Streets cut off. Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to get off on my normal street. I'm going to get off on this street. Nah.
Over the river and through the woods.
All of Inglewood was closed off. Parts of Culver City closed off. Just everything was, I said, what the? It's crazy. All right, let's get to it. Before we get started, you already know we got to promote Black-owned businesses, and you know which business we love. Total Package Energy. Total Package Energy. Please support this Black-owned business, Total Package Energy. They got energy shots. They got B vitamin shots. They got vitamin C, and they also have pea protein. Black-owned business out of the Bay Area. Total Package Energy. Support. Get at them. Everybody hit that like button. That's how we trend. Now, because I'm giving you guys the behind the scenes, It's really difficult for me to set up a goal. I'm going to tell you what the goal is. I expect us to have more than 200 people, more than 300 people in here today. Can we get 30 people to drop 5 on our super chat? The super chat is the $ right at the bottom of the channel, or you can send it directly to me, my Cash App, which is $Zoe What Netter. Lloyd Hinton in the building. What up, what up, what up, what up, Lloyd? Lloyd was actually in LA.
Yes. That's my buddy.
And can I tell you? Can we can share this little bit, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is talking about the relationship roundtable.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yo, we ain't never seen that. That right there, we ain't never seen. TBE, Dr. Naka, let's go.
Hey.
Come on, 2 down, 28 to go. Y'all jumped in on it. Let's have it. Hey, when I tell you, the relationship roundtable was bananas. The comedic relationship roundtable talk. And when I tell you, so many people reaching out, Lloyd Hinton back in the building. We understand, we underdig. None but love, none but love, none but love. Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. This is gonna be great. But let me just say, everybody's talking about it. And then everybody's like, when is the next one? I had at least 10 to 15 people fly out from other parts of the country. Lloyd Hinton was one of those folks.
Florida, Philly, Chicago, Denver. Yeah.
Yeah, we had folk come through.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. Mexico. Man, ain't nobody got time for you, but you got time to write. Don't. Yo, we on fire tonight. Come on, everybody hit that like button, hit that like button. Say his name right. You got the wrong name, fam. You got the wrong name. If you gonna get in here and say something, say it right. Yeah. Yes. Hey, our brother, Dr. Russell, is coming back.
Here?
I know, I'm just saying, after the fire, Dr. Russell and his brand is coming back.
After the fire.
Through the fire. Yeah. Brother Russell is coming back. We're very, very excited for Dr. Russell. Dr. Russell is a solid human being. He good people.
He is.
And I just, I'm rooting for Dr. Russell. Okay. His nephew is out there working with them boxers under Dr. Russell's tutelage. You know nephew, Sarah?
Of course, I know nephew.
Yeah.
He out there with the Asian woman. That's okay though.
Oh.
I'm gonna bring you back.
Oh, wow.
Bring you back.
I'm going to bring you back. Oh. I'm going to bring you back.
You gonna come back.
Nah, but they doing good work, man, and I'm just excited about it.
Yeah.
Your brother Zoe has been quite busy
Mm-hmm.
on a myriad of different fronts.
Come on, Mary.
And I've learned to just be quiet and let things unfold in the way that they're going to unfold. Now, let's get right to the fuckery.
No.
Let's get right to the chicanery, the shenanigans. Is it a travesty? Is it a sham? Is it a Travis shamockery? What is going on with these ICE raids? Trump versus Elon. Many people are saying the ICE raids are strategically planned to get the attention off of Trump because of Elon Musk's assertions, allegedly, right? Saying he is connected to, right?
Yes, the Epstein pile.
Right. So they say, oh, well, maybe now's a good time to do this. Allegedly. Now's the time to get the immigration thing. So we had a whole entire huge 6-hour argument last night
Oh.
in the cigar lounge. Literally. I came in for 25 minutes of it. And let me tell you something. This is going to hurt. I think in American culture babies stupidity. We coddle unintelligence, right? We make it almost like prestigious to be dumb, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of motherfuckers are emotionally butthurt when their unintelligence gets pointed out.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm in the lounge, I'm sequestered. You know what I'm saying? I'm off in the chairman's.
Yeah, you got your own little setup.
I close the doors and I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, all right. I'm getting text messages. Yo, you got to come in here and correct this nigga. No, I don't have to come in there and correct anybody. It's not my job to correct people. It's not my job. I don't know everything to correct people. I might not be the one. Nah, nigga, you got to get in here. You know who was in there tripping?
Oh, boy.
Timmy Tight Pants, the one that wear the tight ass pants.
Yes. They're thin fit.
Hey, what's those? What's that fruit that's on that plastic that you?
A fruit roll-up?
He got the fruit roll up jeans.
Yeah, he got that.
He lay on the ground and roll into the jeans.
That aerodynamic.
Listen. So fruit roll up jeans was in there cutting up. So they asking me, so hell no. Put it this way, my homie Chase had to call me after he left.
Wait, Chase was in there too?
Chase was in there. Chase loved to argue.
Yeah, he did.
So, hey man, Chase had to call me to decompress. He was like, hey man, what's wrong with him, dog? What he be on? And I was trying to tell him like, yo, he been that way, dog. You not gonna change him.
Nah.
So anyway, they brought me in to talk to him. He's a military guy.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by we coddle, stupidity or ignorance. And I made the distinction when I was talking to him. I was like, to be called ignorant is not really, some people will perceive it as an insult. I told him, I said, I see it this way. If somebody calls me stupid, I take stupid as more of an insult than ignorant. For me, ignorant just means I'm unaware of something. I am ignorant to the fact.
Yeah.
So when I explained to him that he was politically and socially ignorant, when I tell you he was butthurt, he was butthurt. He was like, see, now you're trying to insult my intelligence. You're trying to say I'm stupid. Hey, I'm ignorant to a lot of things. I said, and then, I told him, I said, listen, man. I said, you are on the chessboard of life, as we all are. I said, what would you represent? What piece would you represent on the chessboard based on your expertise in life?
Mm-hmm.
And he got offended because he knew what I was. Nigga, you a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
You're the front line. You're not a general.
Oh.
You're not even a knight. You're not a knight.
You're private?
You're a pawn.
A private pawn.
So then we really got into the nuts and bolts of what's happening in America with Donald Trump. And you're a black man and you're for Trump and you lost. So.
Because a lot of people, if you listen to a lot of people that like Trump, they have to create another underlying story that is like conspiracy theory-ish. Like but what y'all don't know is, it's always something y'all don't know. Y'all don't know he working for the deep state to undermine it, to come through on the other side where the tree, it's like crazy shit.
So what I did was I explained how our political system is established. And he was saying, I don't need to know our political system.
Oh.
And I said, well, wait a minute. You're a military man. What if you decided to run for office? You would have to know how our politics work. You would have to know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to know that. And I said, and therein lies your willful ignorance. Now, you take it as an offense when I call it out, but this is an example of you weaponizing your ignorance.
Yeah.
So his argument was, the Mexicans should not be in the streets waving their flag. It's disrespectful to America.
What?
And I said, you have every right to believe that. But there's nuance. I said, there's nuance. And you have to factor in. I don't have to factor in the nuance. They need to be kicked out.
But the Confederate people the people that wave Confederate flags, it's pretty much the same thing. It's the same argument.
Or if I'm wearing a flag that's red, black, and green in color, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what people don't understand is waving a flag in protest, burning a flag in protest is covered by the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
But if you ever go to a Trump rally, they have created him into Superman, put him on the flag, which is also a desecration of the flag too.
But that's what I'm saying. There have been congressmen who have tried to say, nah, you can't disrespect the flag. But it always goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court always shuts it down because it's a part of the Constitution or the freedom of speech portion. It's called symbolic freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. And it started with the burning of the flag. It was like, nah, you can't desecrate the flag. But then the Supreme Court said, no. It's symbolic freedom of speech. And if we take away the burning of the flag, we have infringed upon freedom of speech. So it's legal to do so. You might not like it. You might think it's distasteful, but it's legal to do so. Mm-hmm. So he, as a military man, was upset that the Mexicans were downtown Los Angeles waving their flag. And then I explained to him, but there's context and there's nuance because California used to be Mexico. Let's not get New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Texas. This all used to be Mexico.
Yeah, but also this probably the same man that earlier that day was in Chinatown. And you ain't got a problem when it's outside of Wong Fung Yong.
Wong Fung Yong.
You ain't got a problem with that.
Dim sum.
Dim sum.
Let me get a little dim sum, girl. But
that faux pas.
You understand? That hot pot. What's up with that little hot pot, baby? You got to hold your hand like, what's up with that little hot pot over there? You see? So then I went on to explain. It was like, Trump is doing all of this and doing all that. I said, wait a minute, hold on. You got to understand how your government is constructed. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of states that consider themselves safe haven states for immigrants, like come
Sanctuary cities.
sanctuary cities.
Mhm.
Hey, come over here and be protected. Again, that's against the Constitution because the federal government controls all immigration. The states have no say. The federal government. You say, well, what is federal? Federal means dual,
Cool.
right? It's a dual government. But guess who takes precedent when there's a conflict? Through the supremacy clause of the Constitution. The federal government. Some people even call it the Big Daddy clause.
Big Daddy Club.
Because it's like, okay, you got a sanctuary city here where immigrants are safe, but guess what? If we have a conflict over whatever this immigration, because it's really our responsibility as the federal government. It's not a state level issue. See what I'm saying? So they can come right in and be like, get them immigrants out of here per the Constitution.
But it's more about the due process of it. That's the problem I have a problem with. I have a problem, if you came over here illegally and stuff like that, okay. But it's the in the heat of the night snatch ups.
Oh, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? Like
He can definitely do it. He can definitely do it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he is doing it
Yeah.
is within his purview as president. These people are, listen, my son said something to me that was cold. He was like, Dad, this is what other countries do. It's not just, he said, America's doing it now. Normally, America is known for being lax.
What? I mean, the Statue of Liberty. Give us your tired, your poor, your hurdle masses yearning to be free.
Right.
And now it's like, but not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. Not at this time.
You see?
Yeah.
So, again, but he is within his purview. What does the executive branch do out of legislative, executive, and judicial? The executive branch, which is the branch there, the president, all he does is enforce the law.
Yeah.
The highest law of the land is the Constitution. The Constitution, it supersedes state constitutions.
Of course.
It's the law of the land. It's higher than the president himself. So guess what? We got 2 million illegal immigrants. And it's hard to sort who or whatever out. There's some good folks, there's some bad folks. We don't know. Is he doing the wrong thing? I think so. There's a different way to do it. We should not see children being 3-year-olds testifying about their legality or, should they be here now.
But also not showing up at graduations.
Right. So there is an ethical element to it that requires a nuanced approach. And Trump seems to be like, damn the nuanced approach. Get out and then come back in right. That seems to be his philosophy. But we have to understand the law, right? According to the Constitution, it's the federal government that regulates and controls immigration.
They
So-
still ain't about that one dude home.
Huh?
They still ain't about, whatever happened to that dude, the other distraction they had? The guy that used to help with beauty pageants and shit, that they mistakenly sent to El Salvador.
Listen, do you see the picture? Put the picture up of the African dude.
Oh,
The TikToker. He's worth $20 million. They snatched him in Vegas.
Oh, I don't have that picture yet. I don't have that picture yet.
Mike, do we got that picture?
I know the guy from Senegal.
Yeah. They snatching folks.
Yeah, they snatched him up.
Of the TikToker that's worth $20 million, it's in the assets.
Yeah, he's like one of the top.
He's one of the top TikTokers. I think he was in Las Vegas and got snatched.
But he's a citizen of Italy, and then they detained him, but then they told him he can self-deport. And so he did.
So back to my son's point that was preempted.
Mm-hmm.
My son told me when he was in Greece,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, Cyprus,
Oh.
he said them people came to him and said, hey, your visa is about to expire. If you don't get that taken care of today, they will arrest you and deport you back home. And he said they came to him with a certain level of seriousness, like,
You better get your shit.
nigga, they on the way to your spot right now. He said they wasn't playing with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not an advocate of Trump. Yes, I believe that, see, this is the conundrum that the spiritual construct of this government is based on. How's this government spiritual? No, they've polluted it. That's what checks and balances are. You heard me talk about the Kabbalion, right? If you read the Kabbalion, everything in the Kabbalion is about balance, right? Masons built the philosophical and psychological construct of this government.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, we can't have a president that's a dictator. You have one right now that's trying to be. Do you see? But there's checks and balances, the judicial and the legislative. So what happens is when you're dealing with spirituality, you invite gray area. That's why the two sides be fighting, the blue and the red.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult for them to be nonpartisan, right? It's always partisan. Nonpartisan would be purple. Both sides agree. Mm-mm.
Oh, never happened here. No.
Right? So this is one of George Washington's warnings in his final speech as president. Factionalism. He warned against it. That's going to be the downfall of this country. It's factionalism. Because he understood he dealt with a piece of factionalism during his time, which was anti-federalist versus the federalist. That was factionalism then. And from those two, it evolves. Whig Party, Republican Party, Democrat. It evolves into this robust factionalism that we're dealing with right now. So it's kind of crazy. He is doing what is within the power of the president, but people are trying to get him, and I would say the liberals and the Democrats, they're trying to get him to see the humanity of, man, you remember you took them kids the last time you was president? On the immigrant side of the game, you separated families.
And didn't care.
But here's the conundrum. You got all that care with the immigrants, but didn't have any of that care with the black folk you enslaved, and you still, right, marginalize in this country. It's really interesting to me that you could say, Trump, oh my God, you're inhumane, you're a monster. But liberals are monsters too.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they don't want to give up their power. See, if you really down with reparations, if you really down with black folk, if you really down white liberals, Malcolm talked about this. If you're really down, you'll be willing to share power.
No, we'll get to it.
What did I say about diversity?
Diversity?
Diversity, it's real simple. It's a way to say we get to filter in a few of y'all into our infrastructure just to say we met a quota.
Yeah.
Just to say y'all are here and we're diverse. Nah, all of us need an opportunity, not just a few of us.
Yeah. Not the tokens.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the token system. They're here. Look, there's a woman here. Oh, that's a double. That's a double minority.
Yeah, okay.
As Richard Pryor say, don't mess with the double Muslim. Don't mess with the double Muslim. Do you see what I'm saying?
Is she gay too? Oh, that's 3.
Boy, that's 3. She gay, black, and a woman. Ah. You see? So, again, the liberals want some kind of humanity out of this administration. Right?
But they should know who they're dealing with.
There's only been 4 impeachments in American history, and 2 of them are Trump.
And he's still in there. But also they're trying to pass that law that allows that extends the power of the president. That extends the power of
that happened under Bush.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to take some of those powers back. Do you see? You got to remember the 3 chambers of our government: legislative, judicial, and executive.
Yeah.
When they originally put our country together, the legislation had the biggest part when they wrote it out. Constitution, Declaration of Independence. It was the legislative piece that had the most. It's larger than the presidency, and it's larger than the judiciary. The reason being is because they understood that creating laws would actually set the tone of what kind of country we had. The reason why they didn't write as much for the presidency is because they didn't want the presidency to have the power to become a dictator, because they were already under the rule of King George, and they had just gotten out from under that rule, and they never wanted to see a tyrant sit in that position again. So the powers of the president were purposely limited, and they had that 3-pronged, 3-headed monster to be a checks and balances system. Now, as time has evolved, the presidency has gotten more power, as well, the executive branch has gotten more power, as well as the judiciary.
Yeah. But now he really is pissed with the judicial system. He's very mad at them.
Well, that's how, again, you have judicial review. So the Supreme Court, who are the interpreters, you see the religious connotation to that. They are the King Jameses of the Constitution. They interpret it. Before the Fourth Amendment, there was a reinterpretation of the Fourth Amendment that allowed for police officers. They had to get a warrant now to go through your cell phone or your computer. That's the Fourth Amendment protects you, and now your cell phone and your computer. But before, they didn't have the wording or the interpretation for that. The Supreme Court comes in and interprets that. They're the translators of the law. That's their job. The executive branch are the enforcers, or the enforcer, the chief enforcer of the law. Do you see? What up, everybody? Come on, hit that super chat. Come on, we only got $19.99. We're asking 30 people. It's 212 people in here right now. This is the behind the scenes of the So What Morning Show. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. Soon as we record it, we're going to upload it. So please continue to support in the way that you normally do. Go to my Cash App, $ZoWhatNetter. $ZoWhatNetter. Go support. That's my Cash App. I'll get it right now. Or you can support the channel. We call it Twos and Fews, $5 or less. Come on, show up and show out. Don't just sit there and listen to this good game and not support. Now, there's certain things that I want you guys to see We talked about it earlier, the Supremacy Clause. Because we're in a feudal system, a federal system, what that means is duality. You got a state government and you have a federal government. Where there's a conflict, the federal government and its laws take precedent. Oftentimes there overlap, right? What does that mean? In the state of California, marijuana is legal.
Yep.
C. Irving, thank you, brother. Thank you. The state of California is legal. But at the federal level, it's Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is illegal. Marijuana is just like cocaine or heroin at the federal level.
Yeah.
Now, you could get confused and be walking down the street smoking your weed in LA if there are federal agents nearby and they catch a whiff, they can arrest you because of the Supremacy Clause. Their jurisdiction overrides California.
That's why you get arrested at the airport.
Boom. Do you see? Mm-hmm. So there is some overlap. Now, some people will say the current government has relied so heavily on clauses like the Supremacy Clause and what is called the Necessary and Proper Clause, aka the Elastic Clause, that they have stretched the power of the federal government beyond the envisionings of the founders. Remember, the founders wanted a weak government, right? For the most part. But this is why you had the conflict between the Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Federalists, strong government, strong president, strong central government. Anti-Federalists, nah, we already been down that road with King George.
Don't want it.
Do you see what I'm saying? If our government today would be irrecognizable, unrecognizable to some of the founding fathers. They would be like, this is not what we planned. As a matter of fact, I got a video that I want y'all to see right now. What's our video? Is it the Supremacy Clause? Show them what it's about.
Is it this one? Is it a 3-minute video?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be, there should be a timestamp on it as well.
That is not it right here.
In the name of Sweet Baby Ray's Cookies and Cream.
Oh, I think this is it right here.
Yeah. No, the whole show is going to be uploaded after we finish recording. You guys are watching my behind the scenes. Somebody just sent us a super thanks. C. Irving, thank you for the super thanks. That looks like it is a euro. Loving the behind the scenes, though. Thank you. Now's the time to support. Go to my super chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the channel. Please support the channel. Or go to my Cash App, Zoe. What is it? $ Zoe what? Netter.
Yes.
Then, of course, the homie Sarah is in the building. It's 236 people. We're asking for 30 people to support the channel. It's 236 people. Only 100 people like the show so far. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Y'all holding out on everything today. 236 people, nobody hitting the like button, nobody supporting the channel. Come on, jump in here.
Is that C-Brown?
C-Brown.
Is that C-Brown?
What up? Are you playing the video?
I'm about to play it right now.
I want you to play the video. Don't worry about, because they're going to see it.
Okay.
Yes, the Constitution for Dummies. Article 6.
You want to still be able to talk?
No.
Okay. We can talk to
Dr. Naka, we know that. I'm talking to them.
Yeah, that's how we do it because
We're going to let it play for a second so you guys, when we see the video after it's done, you guys will be able to see all of the clips that I have for you. And tonight, KBLA Talk 1580, the voice of reason returns. Boy, we have an incendiary show set up for you guys tonight. If you don't have it already, download the KBLA Talk 1580 app, or you can go to Apple Podcasts. It's on all DSPs. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, is everywhere. It's one of the top 2 downloaded, or top 2% of all podcasts, and that is accounting for nearly 3.2 million podcasts. The voice of reason is, look at that, the Who's Your Daddy clause. The voice of reason is in the top 2% of podcasts downloaded in the world. People are downloading, people are listening and participating. The Compliment King, what up, what up? I use the KBLA link, Zoe, in Germany. You can't download the app for it. Damn, I'm staying on point. Man, it was so good to see I'm staying on point. Man, that was so fresh. The Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby as any... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to read. It's really giving up good game, this video. Keep up the great work. What up, what up, what up?
Keep up the great work.
Who had said this evening? We be wild. No, but I want people to be a little bit more aware of how your government works. If the president does something that is outside of his purview, he could be sued, right, by the judiciary because they have judicial review. Again, a lot of people think a president could just change laws. Why didn't Barack Obama just do an executive order? Because executive orders are not legislation. They're not laws, right? And if those executive orders are found to be unconstitutional, they can be overturned.
Yeah.
Which is what Trump did when he got into office. He overturned some of the executive orders that Biden had put in place. See, typically the executive orders are in place until your predecessor comes.
Yeah.
Not your predecessor, until the person who comes to take over for you, right? So Obama can put executive orders in place. But then when somebody comes in to take over for you, 10 seconds? Great. They can just take it off. Your successor. Thank you. We're back in the building. Zoe was in here talking. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. If I hadn't told you yet, 7 to 9 p.m., KBLA Talk 1580 across all DSPs. You guys got to download the KBLA app. If you can, if your country allows it, download the KBLA Talk 1580 app.
Wait, if your country allows it?
Yeah. Somebody just told me not in every country are you allowed to download the app. Why you should never explain yourself to the unwilling ear is still a classic show. Come on, C. Irving. There's a lot of unwilling ears out there, man. And today's show, I'm just trying to give you guys a little context of what's going on. So imagine, and I started the show off this way, so I'll double back. It's a callback. Imagine everything going on in LA. It's all popping. There's a sinkhole. On Slauson. There's a sinkhole. So that floods a little tiny neighborhood next to the Fox Hills Mall.
Wow.
You can't even get out of that neighborhood. The traffic is an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes to get out of a neighborhood. That traffic overflows everywhere else.
Everywhere.
Then, unbeknownst to anybody, ICE raids start happening all over California. Happening in Pasadena, happening in Inglewood, happening downtown Los Angeles. ICE raids happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? What in the Sam hell is going on? Then, wait, no, we're not done. Not only are there protests that are going on, there's a Nike women's marathon walk
the marathon
through Inglewood.
Yeah.
So now all of the streets in first. So Inglewood, first off, Los Angeles, Southern California is built on a grid, like New York is built on a grid, north, south, east, and west. But Inglewood is built like Atlanta. Atlanta's not on a grid. Atlanta's streets are like old roads that just got paved into streets. Like circles and what the fuck? Like all the boogaloo streets. You know, so the traffic crazy. Inglewood is like that. No, listen, there was no word that this is going to happen. All of this is happening at the same time.
At the same time.
I tried to get home from Bel Air. Coming down to 405 is cool. I had to go 4 miles past the crib. I'm 4 miles past the crib. Mm-hmm. I get off. We in that traffic. Stuck.
Yeah, Marcus was going to the Cheryl Underwood and Brittany Smiley show
In Inglewood.
Yeah, he came from where he stayed way.
Yeah, in the valley.
And he said he got to try to get over Florence. Florence was like the Great Divide.
Yeah.
You couldn't get past Florence.
Crazy. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and my twin. Because one thing about me and my twin, I be getting road rage. So my twin done popped out in the car. Because it's crazy. Man, when I tell you, that was one crazy night. They said, Gemini, what up, everybody? What up, everybody? You know what? I'm going to end this live a little early.
Oh, no.
Because we're doing it behind the scenes. We had power outages. The street lights were out. Just everything was crazy over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
This is crazy.
Listen, 216 people in here. We're at $51.41 on the super chat.
Oh.
Let's talk about, we talked about this too when we were talking about politics in America. We know that there is a judicial bias, a judicial racial bias. Now, we talked about the sentencing of black criminality versus white criminality or other race criminality. Mm-hmm. And typically black and brown, get the more extended, the more crazy. Have you ever heard, it was a brother who had went to prison who told me that he had an indeterminate sentence.
What does that mean? You get all the time?
We don't know how much time we want to give you. It's indeterminate. We haven't determined it. I said,
that should be.
So it ain't life. It could even be more than life. It's an indeterminate sentence.
Like.
I said, what the fuck kind of terminology?
Mm-hmm.
My sentence was indeterminate.
That is for what?
Nigga, tell me, nigga, you got 350 years. Okay, I'm dead in here. Don't say, I don't know how much time you got. What? That to me, that sounds inhumane.
Yeah.
You're talking to a human spirit, regardless of how deranged or whatever crime they did.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, your sentence
Yes, yeah.
is indeterminate. It just blew my fucking mind, right?
Yeah, it's that the guy, what's his name? The Chrisleys or whatever, that just got pardoned by Trump,
Right.
and he was on the news conference, and he was saying it was so many things that he was able to do and get away with and get access to, that the black inmates did not get the same treatment at all.
Now, come back to this. Have we heard, and pull this up for us, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Have we heard from the Abercrombie and Fitch white guy who got bail?
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, what up? Hey, Ron, what up? Have we heard from him?
Well, he not only got bail, but when they caught him and all them, the young boys and stuff was at the house. Like, the victims were actually there.
Right. So we're not here to justify anything Diddy allegedly did or didn't do. We're not here to justify or cape for or none of that. What we're saying is, how can you administer justice, which is ma'at, which is fairness, which is balance, right? How can you administer that and you're still dealing with what the founding fathers were dealing with? Well, you say, wait a minute, what do you mean? The founding fathers are sitting here talking about God-given inalienable rights and, talking about freedom within one's spirit while owning slaves. It's a cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah, George Washington with slave teeth in his mouth.
Thomas Jefferson done fathered all type of hybrids.
Oh, hi.
You underdig? I guess I'm a hybrid, right? Done fathered all of that, right?
Yeah.
So again, they look bad to the world because they're saying you're preaching all of these principles of freedom and social equity and all of this high-minded shit, right? That Montesquieu and Locke and all these other philosophers were talking about.
Montesquieu.
Right? You talking all this high spirit shit. Now remember, all of this is coming out of Rosicrucian. Because these are Freemasons. Rosicrucian, Scottish Rite. All of this is coming out of the secret mystery schools that were initially in Egypt, that were initially in Timbuktu. Again, it was the black man who civilized the white man.
And they turned it into Hogwarts.
And then they turned it into global domination. She said they turned it into Hogsworth. House Slytherin. You should go to House Slytherin. Potter. Harry Potter. You should not go to Slytherin. Do not go to Slytherin, Potter. Do not go. Where did he wind up going? Gryffindor. You should go to Gryffindor. No, but I sense a powerful leader in you, and House Slytherin will help you. No,
everybody was great.
Hey, my son and daughter, they had a school that was set up like that. Their high school was set up like that. They had houses. Yeah, like Slytherin is a house, Gryffindor is a house. They had houses. You're with H house or O house or U house or S house or e-house. Like that's how and each house had a principal
What?
that reported to the principal that was over all of the houses. It was set up like Harry Potter in high school.
Or a cult.
And they had their little old house hoodies and H house and
Moves, and I was like,
Potter, Potter, you belong in Gryffindor. But yeah, understanding our government gives us a little bit more context for why what's happening is happening.
Yeah.
And again, white folk never understood the context of the spiritual lessons that were coming from the Moors, right? They ran Spain for 700 years. They built libraries and bathhouses throughout the whole of Spain. You stink because you don't clean. You don't understand cleaning your body is spiritual. Europeans believe, no, something evil about washing. Think on that. Europeans believe there's something evil about washing. Black folk totally diametrically opposed. No, washing thine ass.
Yeah. Will cause it not to stink.
And stinking is demonic.
Yeah.
Smelling good is spiritual. Like they had it in reverse.
Just gonna put a little spice on it.
Like, you smell this mustard? you smell this Limburg, this hoghead cheese under my arm? I'm protected.
The cheese from my loins have gathered together.
You smell this smegma? the smegma cheese.
And I just really don't understand how the women were able to even.
That's why they only washed once every 6 or so months. The Moors come in. The Moors set up libraries. You're going to read. And not only are you going to read, you're going to wash thine ass.
Yes. With some salt.
Soap, that's evil. So the Moors come in. Why are the Moors important? A lot of people mix the Moors up with Arabs. But you have to understand, Arabic word Araba, that's a car. They call a car Araba because Arab means to travel from here to there. Do you see?
Oh, an Arabmobile.
So girl. So do you see what I'm saying? So now the word Arab becomes interchangeable with words like Bedouin or nomad. You didn't have no place to be. You're a traveler. You're going from place to place.
Like gypsies.
But please understand, Moor, from the Latin morus, where we get our word Maurice or Marines, because we were the first pirates, we were the first seafarers, right? Moor describes all of the people in the global diaspora. Because it meant swarthy, dark skin, right? That's what it meant. So an American African, what do you say, an American African? Someone who traveled thousands of years before anybody ever got to these places, come and settle in the Americas. Those are Moors. On skin alone, that's a Moor. This is why I call us everywhereans. We started in one place, but we wound up everywhere. 75,000 years ago, you get your DNA marker for the first African who stepped foot on India. Do you see? That's why the root of the Indian people are African. Those are Moors. Moros, swarthy, dark skin. Now, in the Bible, Kedar, Dark skin, strong genes. The tents of Kedar. I am black, but comely. Do you see? This is our history. You don't know the history. You don't understand the origins of this government, which was born out of mysticism, which was born out of the occult. The occult just means hidden. It's the European way of saying Amun. The ancient Egyptians had Amen and Amun. Amen, it can be trusted. Fact beyond a doubt. This is how you get Amina, Amana, faith, which actually means fact. Amen is the root of Imani, Iman, faith. It means that which can be trusted, which is why you end your prayers with Amen. It doesn't mean belief. Belief, Latin, beli. From the Middle English, Belalogian. The lie is a gift from me to you. But that makes sense because it ties into the time of Pisces. Pisces is Jesus. That's why he's symbolized by the fish. Everything he did was fish or fisherman related. Cast your nets and become fishers of men. Yeah. Drop your nets and become fishers of men. The fish miracle on the mount.
And then cast your net on the other side.
But do you see what I'm saying? All of this, the symbology is astrotheology. Do you see? He represents the fish represents Pisces, his mama is a virgin, the virgin is Virgo. Then when he get ready to leave, he say, hey, how will we know? Or they say, how we know when the end of the world comes? He go, hey, look for the nigga standing in the hallway or standing in the doorway with the pitcher of water. That's Aquarius. The water bearer is Aquarius. We live in the time of Aquarius. Do you see? The nigga standing in the doorway.
That's crazy.
So Amen was Iman. It finally evolved into Iman, Imani, faith. But faith doesn't mean belief. Christians use it interchangeably because they don't understand the language transfer. They don't understand transliteration. The preachers of it understand hermeneutics and apologetics. But when you start breaking the shit all the way down, right? This is why the book of James says, what is faith without works? It's dead because they were said, Iman, Amen. For them, faith meant facts. Faith is knowledge. Faith is facts. But it was recontextualized to mean belief and used interchangeably with belief. James said, faith is nothing without works. It's dead.
Well, faith is something you can't see. He said, faith is something of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Who said that?
That's in the Bible.
No, I know it's in the Bible, but who said it?
Who is it? Paul.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Paul has a different agenda than Christ.
That's true.
Do you see? This is why a lot of times Christians get in trouble because they will put Paul's words over Jesus's words. Jesus didn't say nothing like that. Jesus said, you better follow the laws of Moses until shit is over with.
Yeah, render this to Caesar or to Caesar.
Until one dot or one tittle in no wise be changed from the law. I did not come to destroy the law. I only came to fulfill it. And until he said, and not one dot or one tittle in no wise be changed from the law until the law is fulfilled. That's what Jesus said. Paul says some other shit. And a lot of times Paul's shit runs aground and is incongruent with what Jesus was talking about.
Why do you think he's so celebrated?
Because he wrote so many
Oh,
books.
he wrote the most.
And this is Paul, right? Who used to be Saul, who used to torment the disciples in Jesus, right? Who said he had an experience on the road to Damascus. But every time he told that story about that experience, the shit changed. Now, you can point out that behavior in somebody that is not mentioned in the Bible, and you'll say that nigga's a liar. But because it's Paul, you won't say Paul is lying. The first time Paul said he heard, but didn't hear, he didn't see nothing. Then he said again, he saw, but didn't hear. Nigga, which, you done mixed up your senses? What happened for real? If some miraculous shit happened, you know how it happened.
Oh, you don't forget stuff.
You don't forget.
I've had the experience, not like that, but I'll never forget it. I know every detail.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we reading Paul, he mixing up his senses. You heard, but you didn't see. You saw, but you didn't hear. Nigga, nothing happened. Because you the only one there. Now we would press the normal motherfucker. Nigga, where are the facts? Who was there? Did anybody else, can anybody corroborate your story? What, who, him? Then you get somebody like Paul's homeboy, Luke, who wasn't there, didn't see shit, never met Jesus, wasn't even, his first line in his book is, since I have perfect knowledge from the very beginning.
Wait, but Luke.
And that other Luke wasn't there.
Luke wasn't a disciple?
No.
Was a disciple?
Luke was not there. Luke is with Paul.
You know what? I'm thinking Luke is the physician. Okay.
He's the physician. He wasn't there. That nigga said, since I have perfect knowledge since the very beginning, and since other motherfuckers is writing, I saw fit to give my account.
And his is the most detailed.
Nigga, you wasn't there. You don't know nobody but Paul. Barnabas, who's Jesus' real brother, known as James, wasn't fucking with Paul. So how you get perfect? I went off on a tangent. Let me come back. Let me come back. I went off on a tangent. The purpose of what I'm trying to say is it was the mystery schools that gave birth to all this esoteric knowledge. The esoteric knowledge gets turned into religious constructs via the Catholic Church, which dominates people's lives, which gives out a dumbed down version of spirituality. King James 1611 AD, right? King James 1611 AD, that's your first King James version of the Bible, translated from the Greek and Latin. Comes from the Latin Vulgate. Vulgate is vulgus in Latin. Vulgus means commoner. Dumbass, spiritual dumbass, basically. Spiritual dummy. We're going to dumb this shit down so niggas can use it like they used it in the movie with our brother, Denzel Washington. You remember that movie?
Which one, Father?
No. When he blind and he got the blade cutting niggas up. Huh?
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli.
Okay.
He understood being the embodiment of the word versus the guy, Gary Oldman, I can imprison these people within the construct of the word. Do you see? The word religion, from its Greek word, Greek meaning, means to bind. Bound up, religion.
Oh, that reminds me of Pastor Sherry O'Quinn in Waco, Texas. She preached a sermon one time called "Bound and Walking Around."
See?
Mm-hmm.
So again, when you look at, and not only does religion come out of the mystery schools, government does too.
Yeah.
Because before, government was under the purview of religion. The Pope he's the one who ordained and made kings and unmade kings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see? So, as time goes on, a lot of those arcane and spiritual practices are still integrated into government. When you get our Masons, the founding fathers over here, what they really were double agents for England.
Yeah. If they're not a part of some underground like syndicate.
Benjamin Franklin, who was he? He was a double agent. He had France. Him and France was tight.
France.
Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of just animals, and not animals, but I would say a lot of criminals came over here, right, as colonists.
Yeah.
But the people that were on the government side were aristocracy. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were aristocracy. Your House of Representatives is a perfect example of that. They got so many people in that 435 seats. That represents the masses. But the more refined and regal part of the bicameral system is the Senate.
Yeah. 2, baby.
Do you see? 2. Mm-hmm. And we don't argue.
We'll leave that for you commoners.
Yeah, let the commoners fuck with that. They built it in the system. There is, y'all don't understand the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion is checks and balances. And this is talking about internally. What is Masonry? You are the master architect of you. And we'll use the symbols, right, of what they call objective masonry. We'll use their symbols. Like a mason knows how to use a plumb line and measure, knows how to use a gavel or a mallet, right? And knows how to use a compass. And the speculative mason, which is Freemasonry, nigga, you got to be able to apply these tools within. Now, out of the mystery schools and out of masonry comes psychology. They're telling you the same. Carl Jung is saying you got to individuate. But the Mason is telling you the same thing. You have the power to build the perfect image, or not image, but the perfect, what is the perfect structure? The pyramid. That's why their symbols are the pyramid. We have a government that's built on those same arcane principles. That's why a lot of people get confused. Confused on what? America has freedom of religion, but for America, it's unconstitutional for America to endorse a religion.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Because
See,
you can't do that if it's freedom of religion. If everybody is able to worship freely, then if the government endorses one, then.
But see, they already knew. You have people like Napoleon who said, hey, religion is the only thing keeping the poor people from killing all the rich folk.
Oh, absolutely.
Henry VIII understood, oh shit, it was a revolt against me. In mass numbers, 50, 60,000. The poor people, the commoners, the common rabble can rise up and destroy everything. So they got more sophisticated in the psychology. We have to give them pseudo freedom. Listen, We got to get him pseudo freedom. Who was the absolute authority in Europe? Great Britain, the king. Louis down in France. Hey, Dave Soldier, thank you, bro. Y'all in here helping me out today. Please continue. You see, the supreme authority, right? But if he was fucked up, the people suffered. But at the same time, supreme authority, family, friends, everybody still gets a certain type of patronage, right? Which is what our president does for everybody who supported him. He has the privilege of patronage, which is, I'm going to give you these preferred jobs because you supported me. The king did that too, papers patent. I'm going to rise you up. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you these lands. I'm going to give you this responsibility, you see? But what they had to do in order to bring in a new type of bondage was to create a fluid, listen to what I'm saying, a fluid bondage.
Fluid bondage?
Called freedom or liberty. This is why the legal term for liberty, it means freedom within the constraints of the law. Sounds oxymoronic, doesn't it?
Yeah, you just got a big prison.
Freedom within the constraints of the law. That's what liberty is. Do you see? This is how all this was laid out. They had to create an illusion of freedom. That's why you see, even with your privileges and your civil liberties, right? They come with checks and balances. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but if you stand up in a crowded theater and yell out fire, you're going to jail. You can't just say whatever the fuck you really want. It's not really like that. There are limits to your freedom, liberty.
But it's like you have a right to carry in Texas, you know. It's open carry, you have the right, but the bus off, which is that's what.
Wow.
Say bus off.
Bus off, right.
Yeah. Can't shoot the club up. Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Those double entendres, I tell you.
The bus off theory is illegal.
The bus off theory.
Sarah. The theory is illegal.
Sorry.
But don't get it twisted. This is why when you go down to D.C., you'll see George Washington apotheosized as God.
No.
You remember that whole painting where God is touching Adam's finger? On the ceiling down in Washington in one of them damn museums, you'll see George Washington as that.
Now, they had one like that with Sam Davis, too.
But no, what I'm saying is what Masons do, typically, they apotheosize certain members that have reached a certain level of notoriety.
Yeah.
You know? And that is a process. But what y'all don't understand, there's a spiritual apotheosis. The apotheosis is just a Greek word that means God making. To make one into a god is to apotheosize them. Well, the spiritual equivalent of that would be self-realization, self-actualization, moksha, nirvana. The Buddhists call it moksha. The Hindus call it nirvana. You already know Buddhism comes out of Hinduism because Buddha was once a Hindu who later renounced his Hindu upbringing and created a new belief system called Buddhism.
Oh, wow.
Is any of this making sense to y'all in my chat? Hey, listen, we want everybody to support. Please, please, please hit the like button. Are we learning today? Are we getting an understanding? Did the president break the law? Absolutely not. Federal government is responsible for immigration issues. This is why the state of California and the city of Los Angeles, the governor, Karen Bass, and of course, Gavin Newsom, are asking the president to pull the National Guard back.
Yeah.
They're asking. They can't tell him what to do. And whether people like him or not or whatever, he is acting within the purview of his office. Now, is he acting compassionately?
No.
Is he acting with nuance? Come on, California was once Mexico. And you're tearing families away. So there is a moral obligation as well. But does that mean he's not acting within the purview of his office? No, because if he was acting unconstitutionally, he could be sued and or impeached.
But see, what you also have to understand is like the guy at the cigar lounge. Talking about he thought it was disrespectful to waving their flag, but at the amusement park, Six Flags Over Texas,
Right. Come on.
the Mexican flag is there. Now I need my phone flag over there by the flag, that flag.
Texas and just think about it. Just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Texas and California.
Yeah.
Originally Mexico.
And then Texas was its own country before.
But after, first it was
Mexico.
Then it became its own state. But when you think about it, the way what California and Texas are
Yeah.
come on. The West Coast was Mexico.
And it's the irony of talking about immigration in Los Angeles, a Spanish name. Chew on that.
Come on. Colorado,
Remember the Alamo? Yeah.
Utah, shit. Was it Wyoming? All that was Mexico. Listen,
Mexico.
Nevada, all that's Mexico.
But if the French was in the street, if the French come on out here,
The French.
and the French, that goes out.
The French.
That's what I'm saying. That was crazy. Ugh.
So I just want y'all to understand, man. I wanted to get, because so many people was reaching out. Hey, Zoe, you all right? Is everything okay? Are y'all safe and all of that? We are. The only thing that we had was a little bit of traffic. Well, not a lot of it. It was a lot of traffic disruptions. But for the most part, everybody is good. Everybody is safe. Everybody's healthy. French.
French. You gotta have some of that.
Anyway, I want everybody to be good. Do I have something else to talk about?
There's always something.
I want to keep going, but I want y'all to support. I want y'all to hit the like button. I want y'all to support. It's 242 people in here. It's 185 likes. Let's get those likes up. Again, go to my Cash App, $ Zoe, what, Netter. Please support. Please support. Or support right here on the Super Chat. We have less than $100. Somebody said Elon versus Trump. And the irony is, this is an immigrant.
Thank you. Y'all take Mexicans out, but he the one that caused the most trouble.
And now,
And thank you to the two people that sent me Cash App.
so now, again, Trump threatens Musk with serious consequences if he donates to Democrats. So Musk is saying, I'm going to play the political game. But let me tell you something. White male patriarchy in the United States is really something to ponder. It ain't nothing in comparison to black masculinity.
No.
But let me tell you something. When it comes to white masculinity is used to ravaging. Listen what, you know what white masculinity reminds me of?
With dogs.
No, raptors from Jurassic Park.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Raptors.
Very annoying.
Do you understand? They're going to strategize. They're going to team up. You understand? And they're going to eviscerate any and everything. Do you understand? Destruction. Destruction for self-preservation, for self-advancement. They taught the rest of the world to be like that. I want you to stop and think. One of the most spiritual places on earth, right, has been infected by white ideation. It's India.
Yeah.
India is the land of the God man, the land of the guru, the land of the shaman. They've got nuclear weapons. Just let that sink in. They got nuclear weapons. This is supposed to be like one of the most spiritually advanced places in the world. Meditation, mindfulness, all that's coming out. Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Gandhi, all that's coming out. They got nuclear weapons. Doesn't that seem like contradictory in a the fuck? What? Yeah. They've got nukes.
They've got nukes.
But again, it's not the belief system, right? It's the integrity of the people. Even Gandhi himself was a racist.
Yeah.
Still considered some kind of spiritual. How you going to be a racist and spiritually elevated? It's impossible.
He found a way.
Well, it's built in, the caste system. But did the original Dravidians, did the original Sudri or Dashus, the untouchables, right? Those are the originals. I told you 75,000 years ago, the first DNA marker that identified the African on the continent of India. He set it all up. Buddha was originally a Negro. Come on, Krishna, the black one, the black Bambino. Even our brother Krishna Murti, More is in his name. It's spelled M-U-R-T-I, but they don't pronounce it Krishnamurti. They pronounce it Krishnamurti. Come on. They knew that. Don't nobody want you to be who you are. You don't even want to be who you are.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, to you, the dollar, security, comfort, predictability, all that shit means more than spiritual advancement.
Yeah.
And that's the reason and the purpose for why you're here on planet Earth is to evolve. But all of us, so many of us will trade all of that shit away for security.
Oh, yeah.
But look how far security got Diddy. Diddy a billionaire. But look what it made him do. Look what it enhanced. Y'all remember? Money only enhances the fuck shit that you are.
Yeah, it's so true.
Oh, you mean I got the resource and the access to do this? Yay. Listen, you got Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia. What the fuck do you think Melanesia means? Melanated Asia.
It's right there.
The Polynesians, the Tongans, right? The Samoans. These all our folk. Aboriginal, all that's our folk. What up, Cornelius? All of it. Well, I'm about to leave.
Why?
I'm just trying to get our people to support what we're trying to do. Hit the like button. Listen, this has been great. I love everybody for being here. We wanted to do a show regardless of the fact that we were having internet issues. So we recorded the show. Let me just say, if you go on the show later, send a Cash App. Send a super chat, a super thanks. We love bringing you good information, bringing you some clarity, but we want y'all to support too. Sarah's here.
Yay.
We're happy Sarah was able to come and do the show. Such an INFJ. I am. Davey Lee, you've done enough though. This was a great show. I hope you guys appreciated it. Listen, we got 205 likes and there's 240 people. 35 people didn't hit the like button. Maybe y'all didn't like it, but I liked it. Sarah, did you enjoy today's show?
I really did enjoy today's show. Like, it was very, I like it when it's a little spicy.
A little spicy. Love from the town, Zoe, the rail brand. What up, what up, what up, what up? Yes. I got you on the big speaker. What up, what up, what up? There go my nephew, what up? There go my niece, what up?
Oh, Lloyd said, I didn't like it, I love it.
My brother Lloyd Hinton, let me shout everybody out. Let me shout at the Wife School Podcast. What up, what up? Hey, tonight's topic on the Voice of Reason is going to be bananas. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be nuts. The Wife School Podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. Lisa, what up? Marcus Gosha, what up? Okay, let me like everybody. Marcus Gosha. James, what up? We in here. Let's get it cracking. I appreciate everybody. Let me shout everybody out. Let's support Zoe. Come on. Thank you. Willie from Philly. Can you do a show on self-hate? Absolutely. I'm telling you though, tonight's Voice of Reason. It's one of them ones. I like that. It's one of them ones. KJ from Baltimore. What up? They ain't ready. No, they not ready for what we got cooked up tonight. I love it. Them vids finna hurt. Okay. See, I done learned how to not look at the vids. Now I know how to like copy and paste them without opening them. But let me just say, sometimes the video clips for the Voice of Reason show be shocking to me. And I think, yeah, because I think my niece kind of understands, like, I'm going to fuck with him. This is going to trigger him. This is going to cause him to pop off. And sometimes I have to really struggle with it. You ever gonna come out to the town Bay Area? That would be so monumental. You know, I definitely need to get back to the town. I love the town. Whenever I go to the town, it ain't none but love. They take good care of me when I go to the town. Yay. Town business.
This mythical place called Oakland. I want to go.
No, Oakland is amazing, man. Like, listen, it's crazy, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit is happening. The youngsters is wilding. But the reality of it is, man, a lot of times we think black, we think down south. Mm-hmm. But Oakland is one of the blackest places in America, including all of the South. You don't get Gary Payton, Tony Tone. You don't get that type. You don't get who was with Too Short. Who's with Prince? Graham. Larry Graham. You don't get Tower of Power.
Larry Graham.
That's Oakland. That's Oakland.
Yeah.
Nigga, when Bruce Lee came to America,
Bruce Lee was in Oakland.
he was in Oakland.
Yeah, because he could.
They got a street named after him. He was fighting with the niggas. He was teaching the brothers. The brothers respected. Oakland is one of the blackest places you can experience.
Where the Mac was made.
Listen, Jason Kidd, like Oakland is the business. And when you think about it, traditionally around 300, 310, 320,000 people.
Yeah, it's not that big.
It's not even that big. But when you look at the amount of people that came out of there, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, and then for them to be so small and have a national football team is great.
Listen, Oakland is a real place, man. And like I said, they going through their issue right now. Okay, fine. But man, if I ever get an opportunity to go back to the town, of course I'm going back to the town. Right, Huey and Bobby, the Black Panthers, Oakland. The fuck? It starts in Oakland and trickles down to Los Angeles. Like, it's one of the... And then while that's going on, across the bridge, San Francisco, pimping. And I'm not claiming pimping as a good thing. I'm just, goodness gracious. This is the dichotomistic nature of the Bay, man. Like, yo, jeez. It don't get no blacker. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank you guys for supporting. The few people that jumped back in and started supporting, we appreciate it. Again, we're going to post the show. If you so choose to send us a Cash App, me and Sarah. Sarah, what's your Cash App?
My Cash App is $Sundays with Sarah.
$Sundays with Sarah. And Sarah spelled without an H.
Without S.
S-A-R-A.
S-A-R-A.
All right.
H's are silent and I'm not.
H's are silent and she's not. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Thank you guys. I'll see y'all tonight for the Voice of Reason Monday night. Deuces.